Mr. Devajit Saikia is the Joint Secretary of the BCCI and the Honorable Advocate General of Assam. He is also a former first-class cricketer and an adventure lover. We are delighted to have you with us today at the Assam Tribune Dialogues.
Thanks.
And in the almost 80 odd years of cricket in Assam, this is perhaps its finest moment, with both Riyan Parag and Uma Chhetri making it to the national squad. What does the selection of both these cricketing heartthrobs mean for cricket in Assam?
Absolutely. We had a long jinx of not having any Assam player in the senior India teams, although in the junior level we already have 10 to 15 boys or girls in the junior level Indian teams. They were never wearing the blue jersey at the senior level. So when Riyan Parag and Uma Chhetri has done it, so it was a big breakthrough for the cricketer in Assam, and this will definitely encourage a lot of other young budding cricketers and talents to look forward something so that they can also aspire to become an Indian cricketer at the highest level. So I am sure that this will be a trendsetter, and this is just the beginning. In the coming years, there will be a lot more players, both in the men's and the girls. They will play, they will adopt the game of cricket, and they will do their best to get into the Indian opportunity.
Okay, so as Mr. Devajit Saikia said, picture abhi baki hai. This is only the beginning.
This is just the beginning.
And do you think that the IPL has made it easier for cricketers to be more visible, as in the case of Riyan Parag? Has it given more visibility? Also, with now Mr. Ranjit Thakur owning Rajasthan Royals, we have a local presence as well. So do you see the IPL playing any role in this, and
no, IPL
is it
has,
an exciting
yes,
time?
IPL has a major role to play because they allows lot of fringe players who are not making to the Indian team. But as in India, you know that hardly 15-20 boys get into the Indian senior team at one time. So there are about 200 to 300 players who are also equally good, but they cannot make it to the Indian team, but they must have some platforms to show their talents and show their skills. So IPL from 2008 onwards is providing that space and that platform to the budding cricketers to showcase their talent, and there are a lot of good cricketers who have got the exposure in IPL matches. There is a wide visibility of the IPL matches, and that has attracted the attention of the national selectors. So I think Riyan Parag has also done wonderfully nice in the last IPL season. That has also helped him to get to the Indian team, because he was also playing in the other domestic crickets and doing very good, like Devdhar Trophy, Ranji Trophy, Vijay Hazare Trophy, Mustaq Ali. But IPL also has played a role for him and a lot of other players to get into the Indian team.
What did you especially think of the last season that he played?
Definitely he has entered into the Indian scenario both in the white ball cricket in 50 overs as well as T20 matches, and I'm sure he has just started his career at the highest level, and I am sure with his passion, with his commitment, with some consistency, he will have a long way to go, and I'm sure he will make it big.
Great, thank you. And with the setting up or the opening up of 6 new cricket academies in the Northeast with indoor facilities, that's part of your plan. How do you think that that will be a game changer for cricket in a region that has traditionally been more inclined towards football?
Yes. Our present secretary of BCCI, Jaisa, he had a special passion for northeastern regions, and under his initiative, a project has been taken to develop these 6 northeastern states which were recently included in the BCCI's affiliation after the Lodha Committee's judgment in 2018. So this will definitely, because if you look at the topography and terrain of the northeastern region as well as the weather, we have very long rainy seasons, and also there are shortage of grounds because of the hilly terrain. So these facilities which JAISA has developed under BCCI's umbrella, this will give a lot of opportunities for the young players to hone their talents during the off season, more particularly during the rainy season, and that will have a positive impact in the performance of each of these states.
Okay, so we are expecting world-class facilities here.
Yes, for very shortly, all these facilities will be opened up for the practice.
That's great news. And my next question is that cricket is now an Olympic sport. And so how has that changed the scheme of things? Also, what are the BCCI's plans in expanding cricket in non-cricketing nations?
So far as BCCI's plan in developing cricket or promoting cricketing other non-playing, cricketing nations.
Right.
That is not the role of BCCI. That role is to be performed by International Cricket Council, ICC. So ICC is taking up all the steps, all the measures for promoting cricket in a lot of other countries. Therefore, you see in the World Cup tournaments like T20, 50 overs or test matches, a lot of new teams are coming up. If you look at the recent ICC T20 tournament in USA, there are about 20 teams participating, and these are teams where cricket is not that popular, but they are already coming up. You haven't heard about Namibia or Papua New Guinea. All these countries are playing because ICC is taking additional measures to promote cricket in those areas and allowing them the platform to play at the highest level. So BCCI does not have any plan to develop any cricket in non-playing nations. This is not the jurisdiction of BCCI. But BCCI is doing this within the country of India.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Of course, we know that jurisdiction exists only within the country. And what is your personal opinion about cricket now being an Olympic sport?
Yes, I'm very happy that cricket has got the opportunity to be a part of the Olympic movement, and this will give lot of exposure to cricket, because lot of countries where cricket is not known or not popular, those countries will get an opportunity to see cricket as an event in the Olympic, and that will be a big occasion for cricket as a game. So for that, I'm sure that after Olympic of 2028 in LA, cricket will be played in many countries than what is played in today's context. So I'm very hopeful, and I'm very happy that cricket is making a big leap forward in its popularity and its appeal.
Yeah. So my next question is actually a fun one. I know that you are also an adventure lover, and Satyaki wrote about a recent bike trip that all of you took on Route 66 in the US with some of your closest friends. How was it like, and what would you say was your most memorable moment?
Because of that trip we planned about 3 months ago. So after the World Cup final in Barbados, Bridgetown, after the final that was on 29, we had the plan to start it from 1st of July for that Route 66 motorcycle expedition. But India team won. I was supposed to come back to India along with the team, but because of my commitment with my other close friends, everybody had landed up in New York. So, and even my daughter from Bangalore also landed up. So I have to leave the Indian cricket team and be a part of the celebrations in Bombay, as well as meeting the Honorable Prime Minister in Delhi. I have to skip that, and instead I went for the Route 66 ride because that was coinciding with my summer holidays in my court. So it was an incredible experience. It was very nice. It was very taxing. It was very challenging, and at the same time it was fun, and it was real adventure. You can feel the real America, which is the heartland. So the Route 66 starts from Chicago and it goes up to California, but covering 8 states. We crossed 6 states, and we have closed our trip at Albuquerque in New Mexico.
Right.
So we have done about 70 or 80% of the actual route. Another 2 states we have to do it sometime later, maybe in 2026, when we'll be visiting USA for the World Cup football. So during that time we are planning to cross those 2 states, with Arizona and California, on the Route 66 in 2026, which will be 100 years of Route 66. That is a centenary celebration also.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
So that is what we are looking forward. But we have done for 6 states from Chicago to Albuquerque.
Okay, and it was a real sort of eye-opener for a lot of us, because we've seen you talking about cricket, we've seen you talking about politics, but despite your Twitter cover photo with Harley Davidson, we've never seen you on a bike. So this was interesting, because people with very serious commitments also have a lot of time when they also want to make memories. So this was lovely.
Yeah, this is one thing. Then other memories we created in recent 3-4 years was one trip to Everest Base Camp on trekking, and another trip to Annapurna Base Camp on trekking. That was in 2022. So those things, actually we always have some vacation during the summer. So it is always about 15 days vacation or 10 days vacation during Bihu. And I always make it a point that I don't stay in Guwahati. Otherwise, during the vacation also we have to work. So once you get out of Guwahati, that gives you a lot of opportunity to get your stress busted through all these activities. So that is how I am managing my time for going for these adventure trips.
Okay, that's like finding the perfect balance, which a lot of us do not manage, but Devajitda has, a lucky person.
Thank you.
And now I'll ask you a fairly simple but more serious question, because as the Honorable Advocate General of Assam, I think you have the grave responsibility of interpreting the law in a fair and transparent manner, where you often have to talk about complex problems of law in a manner that the government understands, and also sort of be the person in between. So, how difficult is it to find a balance there?
No, you have to, because you have to be very well conversant with the law laid down by the Supreme Court, the existing law, the past law, and while legislating also, the government takes your advice, and every day there are a lot of issues legal. Now, any action of the government or any law of the government enacted in the assembly is put to challenge nowadays. That has become very common. So we have to be doubly careful when we enact a law or when we take a decision in which we anticipate that there is going to be a challenge, judicial scrutiny. So it has become a routine affair for me, because I am in practice for last 25 years, and these constitutional issues and other issues involving the government administration. So, and our chief minister also, he was also a practicing lawyer earlier, so it has become much easier for me because he understands the law. So we discuss whenever there is an issue or whenever there is a proposal for placing any bill in the assembly. So when the person with whom you are working, if they have a background of law, then it becomes much easier for the advocate general or the advocates who represents the government department or government officials.
Actually, Devajitda, you make everything sound really easy when I know that it must be very difficult, being with the BCCI, then being the Advocate General, and yet you find time for adventure, travel, and your friends. You're really, someone who is sort of the modern go-getter who also finds friends for their friend and time for the friends, sorry. And we are really honored to be
No,
having
actually,
here.
life is very short. We have to manage time, and there is no such thing that I am busy, I cannot manage time. If you have some programs, if you have some scheduling, I don't think time is a constraint. You can have if you can compartmentalize your time schedule, that 24 hours, that 8 hours I will sleep, rest I will do certain things, but you have to switch over from one field to the another field, and there should not be any hangovers.
Right.
So that is the motto, that is the mantra, if I am allowed to say.
So compartmentalize your time and manage your time well. Very well said. So my last question is, how has been your experience with the Assam Tribune Dialogue, and what are you taking back, and what do you want to see in the
I
coming
really
years?
congratulate Assam Tribune for introducing this concept of having dialogue. This was a very enlightening experience for me. Apart from the session where I participated, I heard a lot of interesting things from especially Abhijit also, how he was developing the concept of Brahmaputra volleyball, and I have also heard from Lovelina about her challenges. But at the same time, when I was listening to the session regarding journalism and its future, it was really engrossing. I have to congratulate each of the panelists in that group. They were giving us a new insight to what journalism is going through, what are the past challenges, what is the present challenges, and how they are countering the new technologies, new concepts like AI and fake news, portals, etc. With this changing perspective, the tapestry has changed. So all these things I have learned from this, and this was really an enriching and enlightening experience for me. And I'm looking forward that even if I'm not invited for future, I'll keep a watch of the discussions here.
Of course, you'll be invited for any future sessions that we have, and we'll take your key takeaway, which is that fair and independent journalism is very important. Whoever is in power doesn't matter, but news that is credible will always be important.
And I must congratulate Assam Tribune because they are keeping the tradition intact for last so many years, from 1939 till date. We cannot put any fingers against Assam Tribune for being biased or for being partial. They are always being fair and giving the exact picture as it is to the common people. We always compare Assam Tribune with other papers. Whatever is Assam Tribune saying, we compare with that. So we have the trust in this newspaper, and that trust, I think, will be carried forward. That is the legacy this big publishing house is carrying, and I have to give my tribute and homage to late R.G. Borua, who is considered to be the architect of modern Assam. He has a lot of contribution not only for the journalism sector like Assam Tribune and other publications under Assam Tribune group, but also in the sports development and other social economic areas. So I salute to this great human being.
Absolutely. We end on that note and remember Aji Bora for all his contributions, and in the years to come he'll be our guiding light as always. Thank you, Devajit, for all your time.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Do not forget to like, share and subscribe to the Assam Tribune.